The NHL has blessed the New York Islanders with a first overall pick. I cannot believe it, but it's true. The New York Islanders will be drafting first overall this year. And this is going to change absolutely everything for this franchise. After what was a complete disappointment of the season, now the Islanders have a ton of hope, and suddenly that prospect pool is going to look like one of the best, if not the best, in the league, because this is a good draft, and the Islanders are going to have their pick of whatever player they want because they pick first. And yeah, I just still cannot believe that. We're going to break it all down in this episode and talk about 3 of the players who the Islanders are most likely to draft. Really, it's a 2-player race, but we're going to talk about 3 because one of these players does have tons of ties to Long Island, which a lot of Islander fans really have gravitated towards. But regardless of who they pick, this is huge for the New York Islanders. Honestly, I still can't believe this is true, but the tweets right here, we have the first overall pick. And let me just say, this draft show by the NHL was an absolutely incredible idea. I honestly had very little faith, even when we made the video earlier, that it would be that interesting to see the balls come down. But when they started doing the odds live with each number, kind of changing the odds for who would win the lottery, that was absolutely thrilling. Great job by the NHL. I was definitely glued to my seat, and I can't believe that final number 13 came down and gave the New York Islanders the first overall pick. This is so exciting for this franchise, as they're going to have the chance to add the best player in the draft this season. And this is a good draft. It's not a generational draft like previous years, but don't let that make you disappointed. Like, don't start thinking about Gavin McKinnon and, oh, this of all drafts, this is the one we win. No, these are some incredible players the Islanders are going to have a chance to choose from, and we're going to be breaking it down until the draft comes. We're going to be talking about these 3 players, maybe a few more, but really focusing on 1 or 2 players who the Islanders are going to have a chance to add to their team and really allow to change the franchise, because these players have the chance to make the Islanders a completely different team. And on top of all of that, this also makes this Islanders GM job one of the most attractive jobs we've ever seen, with a GM having the chance to step in and instantly have a first overall pick without even having to tank or lose. The Islanders were the 10th worst team in the NHL this season. Yes, they were not good, but to get a first overall pick with only 3.5% odds, this is absolutely incredible for the New York Islanders. Again, I still can hardly focus my thoughts. This is such an exciting moment for this franchise. The first time they're picking first overall since John Tavares, and hopefully this player ends up being a lot better than John Tavares. And we have a couple options to choose from, and this is going to be really exciting moving forward. We're going to be breaking down these 3 players in a lot more detail as we continue with this offseason leading up to the draft. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. Clearly, the lucky shirt, the subscribers hoping to subscribe in order to help the Islanders get a little better luck from the hockey gods worked. So I appreciate all the support. Real quickly, we have changed the jersey behind me for the day to Ken Morrow. It's a signed jersey. I am going to be getting it framed really soon, but I thought I just had to put it up today because I think Ken Morrow really was the lucky charm for the New York Islanders that helped them win this draft lottery. And now all those conspiracy theories that we talked about in the previous video today are so much more funny, because now that the Islanders have won the lottery, a bunch of teams are complaining. Ranger fans are furious, Flyers fans are furious, Bruins fans are devastated, and you know what? Let them be devastated. This is absolutely incredible. The first pick likely is going to be Mathew Schaefer. In my opinion, he is the best player in this draft, and I'm just so excited that now we're going to get the chance to talk about him on this channel, because before, why would we even bother talking Mathew Schaefer when the Islanders were going to be picking 10th overall? They would have no shot at getting Mathew Schaefer. Now, there is a realistic opportunity for the New York Islanders to draft Mathew Schaefer, and what an incredible player. I know a lot of fans don't want a defenseman. Listen, if you're going to pick a defenseman in the top 10 of the draft, this is the one you want. He only played 17 games this season. He did have an injury. He broke a bone in his clavicle. He's perfectly fine now. He actually will be playing in this tournament leading up to the draft, and you will get a chance to see how good of a defenseman he is. He really is years above the rest of his class. When you watch him play in the under-20s, he looked absolutely dominant before he got injured, and this is an injury that really there are not many concerns. I know you want a ton of points when it comes to a draft-eligible defenseman. Let me tell you, Mathew Schaefer is the type of defenseman who is not only going to be shut down, but is also going to put a lot of points in the net for the team. He's an incredible skater. I really cannot rave enough about this player. I am so thrilled the Islanders are going to have a chance to draft him. And there are other candidates. This is a really interesting draft where it's a kind of two-horse race. Yes, we're going to talk about 3 players in this video, but Schaefer is definitely leading this race right now. For good reason. This is an incredible player. I know people are going to be a little annoyed about a defenseman. Trust me. If the Islanders draft Mathew Schaefer, it will be incredibly beneficial for the franchise. It will really change the course of the franchise, which has struggled to find a number 1 defenseman for so long. We were wondering, is Noah Dobson our number 1 defenseman? Do we need a number 1 defenseman? Mathew Schaefer is a number 1 defenseman. There is no question. There's a reason why scouts unanimously have him going first overall. But if the Islanders kind of want to do something creative, they can also select Michael Misa, who is a completely dominant player in the OHL. I mean, look at these stats. 134 points. I know this is what Islander fans are going to be excited about. And if the Islanders do draft Misa, for the record, I will not complain at all. There are definitely arguments that Michael Misa is the best player in this draft. I still think it's Schaefer, but Misa has a lot of good arguments. He's been a goal scorer. He's been able to put up assists. And if you watch him play, he really does everything. He's such a smart player in the OHL. Honestly, the OHL really has nothing more to offer him. Likely, if he's not playing in the NHL next season, which he honestly could, he is going to end up maybe playing college because there is nothing more for him to learn from the OHL. He's just that good. I mean, 134 points, wasn't as dominant in the playoffs, but still put up 3 points. And for an 18-year-old player, that is great. These are both, while not franchise players in the sense where they are not like these NHL-changing players who are going to be the number 1 player in the NHL for the next 20 years, Misa would be a top 10 center for a very long time, and Schaefer would be one of the best defensemen in the NHL, really making the Islanders have one of the best blue lines. This is such a huge opportunity, especially for a team that didn't have to bottom out to get this pick. You can't go wrong, although I will say, if the Islanders do pick Hagens, with the first overall pick at least, we're not talking about trade backs and stuff, and we'll talk about all the scenarios as we find out who's going to be the GM and more information comes out. But James Hagens, at this point, while he is a Long Island native, born in Hauppauge, I don't even know how to say. I know there was like a video with Oliver Wahlstrom saying it wrong, and I made fun of him. I also have no idea how to say it. But James Hagens would also be an incredible pick, although it would just be a stretch considering that this is now a first overall selection. Back in the day when we were talking about who the Islanders could pick at 10th overall, you would be lucky to even have a sniff at a player at James Hagens. He would never last that long. 37 points in 37 games in college, playing against better competition, and that really is the best argument for Hagens. And Hagens was initially the number 1 ranked prospect in this draft, and he did not slip. I do want to emphasize, he did not slip because his play was bad or he underwhelmed. He really lived up to expectations in the NCAA, in the Hockey East League. The thing is, these other 2 prospects just outperformed him. Mathew Schaefer, Michael Misa, and now the Islanders are going to have their pick of which player they think is the best for the Islanders in this draft, and this is going to be franchise changing. There really is no way to emphasize how huge this is for the Islanders. I mean, Michael Misa, Mathew Schaefer, James Hagens, the Islanders can pick whoever they want in this draft, and this is an incredible opportunity for the New York Islanders. Thank the Hockey Gods for this opportunity. Thank you for the NHL for blessing the New York Islanders. Again, 3.5% chance for them to select first overall, and they got the pick. That was an exciting draft show. What a thrilling update for the New York Islanders season. And yes, this is clearly going to redefine the future of this franchise, and I can't wait to continue to talk about it in future episodes of Islander Digest. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be one of our first 100 subscribers. Let's go Islanders. That's really all I can say. I'm Patrick Nilan. This is Islanders Digest. Let's go. First overall. You can't. This is the ideal situation, and Islander fans should all be thrilled. Let me know in the comments who you want to see the Islanders select first overall. I have my preferences, as we're going to be talking about in the near future, but yeah, for today, Islander fans, just enjoy it. Enjoy this first overall pick. Hopefully the Maple Leafs lose game 1. Let's go Islanders.